Hey everyone, Jody from Bird Off-Road Adventures here. Today we're going to show you how we installed the Turn Off-Road third brake light kit with Chase Blinker. Stay tuned. Some of you may be wondering, well, why did you change? You had the Hammer-built ones. Now, to be honest, Hammer-built gave those to us. I had some issues with the lights once. They replaced the lights. At UBB, the lights started freaking out again. Part of them didn't work, part of them did. So Hammerbuilt no longer carries that product. They discontinued it, and some of the contacts I had at Hammerbuilt are no longer there. So I decided, well, let's just go ahead and get the best thing that's on the market available today. So that's where we turned to our friends at Turn Off-Road. Now, I paid same price as the rest of you guys. These weren't given to me. I used a 10% discount code from our friend over at Trail Hunter USA, and we'll put a comment down or link down below in the description down below where you can use his discount code to get the same deal that we got. And to be honest with you, I'm happy with it. And I did opt for the flasher module because I'm kind of spoiled with what the Hammerbuilt had. So I did that as well. And as you'll see here in just a minute, I have a little bit different way of wiring mine than what they do on the video. This is not going to be a step-by-step video, the install. Their video does that very, very well, and I'll put a link to that below as well so you guys can reference that. But if you're like me and you're looking for some alternative ways to do your wiring, then that's what this video is for. So hang tight and enjoy the show, and hope you'll consider hitting that like and subscribe button. So here we go. Okay, so we have ours kind of lined up before we go to do the install. We have our wolf box rear camera mounted. Of course, the cable is dangling there for right now. We did have to unplug the rear camera and take this piece off. You can see here we got lots of good powdery sand. Probably should dust off. I brought it inside from Sand Holler. And so right here, so because we have the Turn Off-Road plate, it was kind of weird because you would think that this would match a Sasquatch. It doesn't. It matches the non-Sasquatch. So we actually had to use the spacer, which we didn't think we were going to have to. But we didn't have enough hardware to fill all the holes. Now, I don't know if they don't really think that you need to fill all the holes. Maybe it's just these four. But us being overachievers, I decided to go into some previous project, with DV8 and JCR and some of these other vendors, and even Turn Off-Road. Sometimes you have leftover hardware. I always save that stuff. Y'all can call hoarders on me or call me a pack rat if you want to, but it comes in handy from time to time. I still got a lot of bolts there. And these little button head bolts and these little washers, sometimes I get them from my caster car, come in handy sometimes. And here's an instance, because even though we probably didn't have to do these two and that back of this spacer piece, we did, because we didn't have enough hardware that came with it to cover all 6 of those plus the 3 up here. So we improvised and did that. I'd rather have it and not need it than not have it and need it. But these are all 4mm button heads, and the ones that have nuts on the backside, they use a 10mm socket. Like the video that Turn Off-Road says, we did leave them a little loose so we can slide. And I can't really do it one-handed. I have them a little bit snug, but I can still slide them. So once we get this back on the truck and we go to put the spare tire on, we can see how much we need to adjust this up or down or whatever. Obviously the tire may hit this piece. We did put the bracket because we do have the Anderson Composites hardtop, which is exactly like the factory one. So we did put that extender plate here to bring this piece out like their video shows. And then we're going to do that, and we'll have that all hooked up. So we've already removed our old Hammerbuilt unit, which is no longer available. It's no longer supported. We had some light issues, which is the reason why we went ahead and pulled the trigger on the Turn Off-Road. And we did opt for the flasher switch because we had a similar function on our Hammerbuilt one. And I'll be honest with you, I love it. I think it's great. And I think it's really good, especially when you're out here in the desert in Phoenix and you're kicking up a lot of dust and there's people behind you. So we're going to go out there and throw this all in together. They give you this sheet here, but I don't know anywhere where it shows you what this actually looks like. Obviously, we're LEDs, so we only go from 1 to 10 as options, but I don't really know what this means. So, and they say you, I guess, have to pull this open to adjust those, which It doesn't give you any clear indication how you would do that. It shows you pictures here, you know, and if it comes back, I don't know if you have to tape it up to make sure it doesn't come apart. Obviously, you don't want to have that outside. But we got some plans on how we're going to wire it. We'll probably start out with the first one, see how it looks. And if we don't like how the first one looks or whatever it's already set on, then we'll go in and we'll make some changes. Based on this, I don't really know what would be comparable to what I had in the hammer built. Maybe number 9 or number 6 might be, you know, as far as bouncing back and forth, or even if it even offers that option. So we may have to play with that a little bit. And if we do, we'll kind of try to show you that too as well. All right, so unlike turnoff road, I did not elect to go over here and cut a bigger slit in this. I've already got a slit cut for some of the other wiring, but I wanted to make it cleaner. So with the hammer built kit, I did run it up here in these flaps. I don't know if you can really see it in there, but there's some light flaps in here. You can maybe see some of these over here. The little flaps that go in the back side door. Anyway, without taking all this off, you can't see. You can see some down here. Anyway, so I basically taped them to the wolf box quick cable that was already in there, going through there, and then pulled them through that way. I'm going to pull them on through and pull it in, and then that way we can go ahead and start our wiring over here along the side here like they do in the video. We won't go real granular in that because their video covers it pretty detailed, and I'll make sure to put a link to their video below so you can check it out for yourself. So I'm not going to go real granular on that, but I just want to kind of show you guys how we're going to do it a little bit different than what they did. As with most things, there's multiple ways to do things, so you don't have to do everything the exact same way. Unless you're just not comfortable, then it's probably safe to do it exactly like they did. But anyway, we'll quit rambling and get this done. All right, so our install is going to be a little bit different. Of course, we had to incorporate the Super Re for the battery cable. So we basically tucked in a lot of the wires back here. You can't see it, but so you can see here, we got these going across here. We're going to cut these zip tie trims off before we put the tailgate table back on. Then we're going to zip tie these together over here a little bit probably as well. Have these going in over here. Now I did wrap. I couldn't figure out how to get that open to where I could try to run the wires out like they did on their video. But I had some of this tape here. It says industrial tape. It's basically like a cloth tape type deal, which is very similar. It's the exact same tape they use up here on this piece. So I just basically rolled it all the way down till we got back in here. Now my chase light was from the previous kit. It's run up through here, tucked it in behind this weather stripping here. We'll get that back in, push that back in. Now this wire right here is going to be exposed because the only way I can do that is if I take it all the way back out. And I believe that's the one that goes to the whip. So I'm just going to leave that. It's just going to have to rest in there. I don't think it's going to be an issue of water getting in at this point anyway. You know, so anyway, so this is the chase light wire. It was on the previous one. And then we have our flasher kit. We got the lid popped off so we can make those adjustments. And of course, these two are the wires that, my understanding, go to the flashlight. So I got these quick connectors off of Amazon a while back. You can do 1-to-1, you can do 2-to-1, and I got some, I believe, that are actually 2-to-2. So depending on what your needs are, these come in quite handy. You know, so we'll use these a lot. You basically just got to get the wire out and then put it in the hole and clamp the little orange piece down, and you're good to go. And that makes it a lot easier. Now we did connect the green to the green up here, and we ran it up through here after we put the tail light connection in. So we'll stuff this back here as well. We did remove some of the tape on these wires to give us a little bit more flexibility after this part, and then that way we should just get everything done and tuck it in behind here and put this thing back in. I can't pull it out too far. I do have to get to that ground back there. It is back there a little bit. You see it right there. And once I get that in, it should be good. That'll be a challenge, so we'll probably do that next. All right, so bear with me. I hope I don't confuse you guys too much. So positive runs to the cable going up to the front to the aux switch. The negative for this, as well as the negative for the light harness here. Remember I said 2 goes out 1. 1 all the way up here. We hadn't tightened it all the way back in yet. We got it up here. You see there? So that's the ground. And then down here again, you have both lights, 2 and 1. So sorry about the background noise. 2 and 1. goes into the adjuster. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this up or turn this on and then adjust it to how we like it before we pop all this back together. So hang tight. All right, so it looks like this is position number 1. It's just basically strobing. Now this is position number 2. You know, it kind of just fades and glimmers. It's a little interesting. I don't know how to describe it. So it's definitely a slower pace than number 1. All right, here's position number 3. It's just a constant blink. I know somebody I talked to on Instagram referred to me as this one, so that's what they use. I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, it's a preference regardless, but this is what number 3 looks like. Okay, this is number 4. It's a pretty hyper blinking. So if you want to give the person behind you a seizure, this might be a good one to choose. This says it's number 5, but it doesn't really do anything. It's just showing really, really, really bright. So I'm not sure if that's the way it's supposed to be, but that is number 5. This is number 7. I'm not really seeing anything either as far as patterns. So I don't know. Maybe something's not right with mine. I don't know. All right, so there's number 7. It's just a flashing. This may be one that I use. It's not too fast, but it's enough to get people's attention. The one thing I'll say about this one, this is close to the pace that the Hammerbuilt had, except the Hammerbuilt would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, whereas this does both lights at the same time. And I don't know if there's a way for it to do that differently. You may have to buy 2 of them to make them offset each other, but it's no big deal to me. But anyway, just wanted to point out to you. All right, here is number 8. I actually like this one. It's a good attention getter. Like I said, you're only using this when you're on the trail and it's real dusty and you're trying to make sure there's nobody hitting you in the rear end. You wouldn't want to use this any other time. But it's like a mixture, so it's 2 fast beats and a slow beat, or 2 slow beat and a fast beat, or however you want to describe it. All right, here's number 9. It's just a steady beat. Nothing too bad. Just want to show it out. All right, last but not least, number 10. Just some quick flashes. Might be too much for most people. I don't think I'd do this. I'd probably do 8 or 9. So, check it out. All right, the first casualty. Couldn't get the spare back on because we had this set at the highest level, as you can see here by the sand holler dust. Tire was hitting this piece right here. Now, this is raised all the way up. This is as high as this thing will go. So, I might want to note that if you're like me and you want to set your tire up higher, you may either have to do one or 2 things. First, we're going to try lowering it down 1 notch to see if that helps. If that works, we're done. If that doesn't work, we're probably going to have to readjust this to slide it out more that way to where it's not hitting this. I think what we've done should be enough, but we're going to find out here in just a second. All right, we're all done. Everything's on. Everything works. Lowering the tire down on the tire carrier 1 step in the middle spot was enough. But as you can see, it's pretty damn tight in here. You know, doesn't quite hit it, but you see there's just a tad bit of gap. Yeah, there's a tad bit of gap, not much. It is hitting back here, so it should keep it from bouncing. But yeah, with that little thing forward right there, and it being as high up as it could possibly go, we had to lower that. Now, if you had larger, these are 37, so if we still had our 38s, I don't know what we would have done. We'd have probably had to go out that way more with it offset. But with these being 37s, and keep in mind, these are pretty true to size 37, so pretty good to go. So here from the passenger side, you can see there's not much daylight there. Like I said, there's a little daylight there, but not much. So as you can see, we're pretty ready to go here.
Well, once again, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate all of you all that watch the channel and help support us. We'll put a direct link down below. Like I said before, we're not an affiliate of Turn Off Road, but we've met Kylie and Cole at UBB and some other events, and as most people that have met them can tell you, they're really good people, really friendly, really down to earth, and a pleasure to talk to. And we love to support people of that nature in this type of world, in this type of business. So anyway, hope you guys have fun. Please use that Trail Hunter USA discount code for 10% off, and we'll catch you later.